Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I thought I would talk a bit more about my hearing loss and stuff like that. I mentioned in the last video I made about my hearing loss that I would make one about the impact that losing your hearing can have on your mental health and like anxiety and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I'll talk about today. You might notice I've not got my hearing aids in just now. I usually do wear them, but at the moment my ears are a bit kind of irritated. Yeah, so like I said in my last video about this, I lost my hearing around the age like 13, 14, I can't remember exactly. But obviously that period of your life is quite an important time for developing social skills, and I've always been quite a shy person. Like I've always been quite kind of socially awkward anyway, but losing my hearing certainly didn't help that at all and gave me quite a lot of anxiety when socializing, because when you lose your hearing you're going from being able to hear everything that's happening, being able to hear like every bit of conversation, maybe even like multiple conversations at once, and pick up little bits of what people are saying and it makes sense and you can just listen to it, process it in your brain, respond, and it's easy. That might sound kind of like a given if you've not experienced any hearing loss at all. So you're going from that state of being able to do all of that, socialize fine, maybe, and then you lose your hearing and everything becomes so much harder. You can't hear every bit of every conversation. You certainly can't hear multiple conversations at once, and if you do, it just means that you can't understand what any of them are saying. You can tell that people are talking, you can tell that there's multiple conversations going on at once, but there's nothing you can do about trying to understand them. So in a school environment in particular, when everyone's loud and socializing, getting on with each other, it's just really hard to be a part of that when you can't tell what's going on. Personally, I found that every social interaction becomes kind of draining almost, unless it's in like a quiet, controlled environment. But in school, in college, at uni, out in a cafe, a bar, like any loud environment, it's like physically draining trying to understand what everyone's saying, because it's not just understanding the words that come out of their mouth. It's like you'll hear some words, maybe you don't hear the middle words of the sentence, and then you have to kind of try and piece together what they're saying based on the context of what they were previously talking about. I don't know about you, but that sounds very exhausting. Another thing that I found really affected my mental health and social anxiety in general is that people would make references to things or would make jokes and I wouldn't hear part of it, and maybe like not miss the joke, not understand what's funny, and then they'll talk about it later and I'd have no clue what they were talking about. So that made me feel kind of like out of place, and it meant that I couldn't really relate to a lot of people. So it meant that quite a lot of the time I was kind of seen as this like ditzy person, didn't really know what was going on, missed all the jokes, kind of seemed a bit away with the fairies because I'd have to get people to clarify what they meant about stuff, and just kind of became this permanent state of confusion in social situations, which I kind of am as well now. I think I'm kind of still seen as that kind of confused, socially awkward person, which I'm fine with now. It's like my social anxiety has gone away mostly, to be honest, except in really loud environments like clubs and stuff. But at the time growing up, and you're like this socially awkward young teen, it just kind of made me scared to go and socialise in the first place, because at some point I would inevitably look stupid. Another thing that I found that was particularly hard was travelling back and from uni initially. Like, I'm fine with it now, but originally I was quite nervous about getting trains and stuff because I hadn't really done it an awful lot when I was younger, especially not by myself. And quite a few of my first train journeys unfortunately had like delays or like change of platforms and stuff. The only way really to find out about that is through the tannoys. I can't hear them very well at all. I know most people, even perfectly fine hearing people, struggle to understand the tannoy because it's quite like artificial, robot-y sounding, and if you take that and then blast it through some hearing aids, which also make things sound a bit robot-y, you can't really understand what they're saying. I was quite nervous to go on trains like when I first started uni, because yeah, like if my train changed platform or something, I kind of could only tell if people who were already waiting on my platform suddenly all got up and moved. So I'd have to ask the ticket people, and then I was nervous about that interaction because what if I didn't hear them and I have to get them to repeat stuff and feel like a burden because I'm getting people to repeat stuff. It wasn't a fun time. Oh yeah, I forgot, like one other thing that kind of played a part in getting social anxiety was when I initially had lost my hearing. They took ages to diagnose me with anything, and they kind of believed that my hearing would come back, so they were really reluctant to give me hearing aids. So I spent like a year of high school. First year you start doing GCSE stuff, so that's year 9 for English people. Yeah, I spent that entire year not really being able to hear the teachers, not really being able to hear my friends because I didn't have hearing aids when I should have done. And also I took quite a lot of time off school because, as well as my hearing loss, because of the way I got it, I was getting dizzy regularly. So throughout the year I'd have to take 2 weeks off at a time every time I got a cold, because whenever I got a cold it set off my dizziness and I had to go and lie down and not move. So I missed out on a lot of the kind of social opportunities that I could have done had I not lost my hearing. And I think that is one of the main reasons that I got social anxiety in the first place. I have to say though, I don't really have that much social anxiety anymore. It's gone down considerably since starting testosterone, because I'm more confident in myself as a whole, and also I've got a solid group of friends who really understand that I'm not going to be able to participate in certain social situations, and that I'm perfectly fine just kind of sitting back and enjoying company with people without like engaging in the conversation as well. My friends understand that, which is helpful. But yeah, I just thought I would give you guys some information. So maybe if you have a friend who's got hearing loss and is a bit socially awkward, that might explain some of why and maybe how you can help them. I find something that's really helpful is my friends make sure to sit on my right side because that's my better hearing side, and also face me and not cover their mouths when they're talking to me so that I can lip read them a bit. I'm not amazing at lip reading, but it helps to fill in the blanks. So yeah, if you have any more questions about that, please leave a comment down below and I'll try and answer as many of them as I can. I don't claim to be an expert on this is just my personal experience. If you found this video good and informative, please give me a like and maybe subscribe to my channel if you want like to find out more about stuff like this, or transition things, or Japanese fashion things. That's what I usually talk about over here. Until next time, I hope you all are well and I will see you in my next video.